Steve, I think for me, it was a journey of losing a lot as a child. I was an immigrant, I didn't speak the language, so it was hard for me to, make friends when I first got to America. Then I was a bad student, so all my teachers said, no, you're a failure, bad, push against. I wasn't, after about third or fourth grade, it was clear to me that I was not remarkable at sports. So there wasn't that thing that a lot of kids rely on. So I basically lived a life with a lot of adversity and a lot of no. My parents didn't buy me things. Mom, I want Nintendo. No. My life was about no. And so it was very easy once I became an adult to be comfortable in no. For a lot of you, my children included, no was, you were in the business of yes, and in that became the vulnerability because no seemed scary, foreign. So I think the biggest way for you or anybody else at a more advanced age of not being a child anymore is getting into the practice of losing and doing no's. Trying things that are hard to you. Doing things that require no. People need to have a relationship with no, and that is only something that either you are serendipitously growing up with and or something that you manufacture for yourself when you get older by putting yourself in uncomfortable positions so that you become more comfortable with rejection. It's ironic you asked that question. Literally, my Instagram post that I snuck in while I was doing the interview with Emma, as I multitask, you might have saw me looking down at some point. Literally this post that I just posted is that people are too addicted to positive reinforcement. You're smart, you're pretty, that's awesome. Once you believe that, you become susceptible to negative reinforcement. So Niall, the reason I'm able to deal with pushback and no is actually when Emma introduces me and says all those nice things, I don't believe them. I don't know how else to say it. When I hear that I'm a 5-time New York Times bestseller, that's funny to me because I failed all my English and writing classes. When I hear, when Emma says something like, you've actually made a dent in this global advertising, this style, you were with us very early on. That's funny. We were like a ragtag group of 50 people that just were sitting in an office, right? This. So for me, I don't get high on my accomplishments, which allows me to not get low on when I'm dealing with negativity. I just keep it very zen, very in the middle. Like I'm aware of what I've got going on and where it's going. And I'm also aware that I'm 44 years old, which means I have a lot of time to build on this and it can end up being in a very crazy place, not financially, on impact. I'm well known at this point and I'm just starting. So I know that kind of God willing with health and all that, my destiny at some level is for some pretty big bridges, but that will never make me think that I'm better than somebody or I'm greater than, which allows me to then deal with the negativity that comes along with that much notoriety. And I like that. I like that I don't get too high and I don't get too low.
I started watching you when I was very focused on academics. I didn't give myself a creative outlet for a long time in my life. And when I spoke to you last, this was 2022 in Garyvee, I was sort of at like a point where my chronic illness was really, really affecting me. Do I go back? Do I try academics? I know I struggle with it, with my body, my health, all that. Do I try out this creative thing? And your content, our conversation, everything, you gave me a lot of courage to try and be a creative, and I have, and I've worked with John Henry Starr now as a brand illustrator, like crazy stuff has happened, I'm really grateful for it. I think recently, I don't know if it's being just hitting 25 or whatever, I don't know if it's the type of career that it is or if it's just life, I feel like I've struggled a lot in the last maybe 2 years or so with uncertainty and rejection. And these are things that I thought I was always comfortable with, but as I'm just getting to this section of whether it's, I know people feel this at every age, but it's the rejection, even if it's it just hits. And it's
that's because,
what's your advice?
My advice is to understand yourself. Somebody that grows up that puts academia on a pedestal is protecting themselves for not being rejected. Fake aka school, once you figure out the system, you can get A's. And you can trick yourself into not having rejection. Real life is only rejection. Life is only rejection. All life is micro losing. All life is micro losing. The quicker you can get good at enjoying micro losing, like the quicker it gets great. And it's important, words matter, micro losing, not macro losing. Not losing your relationships or your house or micro losing. Every day I'm micro losing. The reason you're struggling is because you put academia on a pedestal your whole life. It's a huge problem. This is like, I don't think people understand like how deep my intent goes. I'm not fighting school because I wasn't good at it. I'm fighting school because I watch the world and I know what it's doing to people. It's really, really, really a challenging framework. There's no flexibility in it. Here, all 6-year-olds, we're gonna just push you through for the next 18 years, 16 years, 12 years on the same fucking track. And the ones that are lucky enough to conform to it will make pretend you're good. And all the other ones, aka anyone who's creative in any shape or form whatsoever, which is more than half the population, we're gonna build frameworks to make you feel insecure along the way, that you're dumb and not good. The fuck is that? And then you have immigrant parents and parents in general just reinforcing its value. And then you have parents wanting their children to be doctors and lawyers and engineers to make them good and feel good, not you. And like, who the fuck's watching out for people? Right?
Someone says no, right?
Yeah, I like that.
Okay, so I love no's.
No's the best.
I mean, I've gotten no's in my life, of course. You know, yeah,
everybody got no's.
You know, but so I took.
If you didn't get no's, you guys would be dating somebody completely different right now.
I asked a brand about could I do something for them. The same thing you said about you know, finding a horrible business. Like the business is terrible. They're not good at promotion. I took that and I asked them like, hey, listen, you know, I think they do like figurines for like horror movies. And I said, listen, I'm willing to work for you these amount of hours, and I'm willing to do this. I don't really want nothing. I just want to do it for you.
They said no.
They left me on scene. Yeah. They said no. And then but what they did was they reversed it.
Leaving you on
of theirs, and they ended up saying, all right, you can do this like a program. You get paid for it. I didn't want to get paid. I just wanted to do it.
Yeah.
See what they said.
Move on.
Oh, I did.
Yeah. What do I think about it? Nothing. Good. I mean, what? Like what? Like, what do I think about it? Nothing. Like, I mean, are you kidding me? People, literally, I'm watching people take all my content, build businesses, and then shit on me to try to build themselves up. Like, I see everything. Like, none of it bothers me. Do yours, dude. What the fuck? It has nothing to do with me. Like, just keep doing it. Keep chopping. Thing on them fucking you over is a second that you're not spending on offense. Looking backwards fucks with your neck.